My sleep is still all fucked up. I'm not gonna go on and on about it. I just wanna let you know where I'm coming from. It'd be nice if all news anchors, reporters started off with how they're feeling, how they doing personally, where's their mind at? Not that it affects the job. "Oh, no, your profession doesn't" it does a little bit. You might say things a certain way. Like, if Lester Holt says something, I might interpret it different if he's like, "Yeah, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I did drink a little bit yesterday." And my wife got on me about the drinking, and I was like, "Yo, I'm Lester fucking Holt, all right?" And then she's like, In this house, we're equals." And I was like, "You're right." And I'm thinking about that a little bit when I'm talking. I could be better in my relationship. I made all that up. I don't know if Lester Holt's married. I don't know how he gets along with his wife. I don't know if he drinks. That was a character that I made up, and I named Lester Holt. And in my mind, I envisioned him as Lester Holt, but it's not. It's got nothing to do with him. I don't know anything about his personal life. And I'm sure if things happen in his personal life, which they must, it doesn't affect his work. But maybe, yeah, maybe a little bit, maybe. You tell me Lester Holt, the top of the game, doesn't get enough sleep. For whatever he just can't sleep. It doesn't affect anything he does. He drinks more coffee. He does whatever he has to do to get out there and look exactly like he always looks. But there's probably a little difference. And wouldn't it be nice if he and whoever the other anchors are and any just reporter out in the field, and like, I'm about to tell you about this hurricane, but you know what? I'm not feeling too great. I thought I'd be further along in my career. I didn't know I was going to be stuck in this city for as long as I am. Nothing against the city, but I wanted to be in a bigger market. I'm starting to come to realize I don't think it's going to happen for me. And this is a great place and everything. You know, I'm just saying that's on my mind right now. Some of you watching this right now can relate. Not everything is how you thought it would be. And that's a part of life, much like this hurricane that's coming. Let's talk about that high pressure system coming in from the north. I am not going through anything personally. Did I think this podcast would be a little bit more well received? No, I don't know. I don't know what I thought for this podcast. I've been doing it for so long that there's only like 150 episodes available. I've done 2,000 something episodes of this show in different forms. News and no news. Those are the only two forms there are. And over the past 9 years, I think I've done more news than I don't know. Doesn't matter. Does it matter? You can't listen to those episodes. I will eventually be putting out old episodes. I'm going to listen to them and then I'll talk about them and then you can hear the episode. And that'll be a Substack thing. That's going to be, you got to be paid on Substack, which there's not a lot of people there. And maybe that doesn't sound worth the money to you. And I'm not going to argue. Things are tough right now. You got to bring that up anytime you talk about people spending money. Things are tough right now. I know. Money's tight. You can't afford rent. You're eating cat food. But would you subscribe to my Substack? I know you've sold family heirlooms in order to put gas in your car. Still, the Substack. Bring those old comic books in, see how much they're worth. Not as much as you think. You're going to be offered an amount of money that you find insulting. You take it. It's still enough for a few months of my Substack. So, yeah, I know you'd be held on to those comic books forever. You're like, one day, I'm going to cash them in for big bucks. Nobody's going to give you those big bucks. I'm sorry. Everyone who had the comic book backup plan is going to have to come to that hard truth at some time. Unless you got something insane. You might have some crazy yeah, all right. Oh, but I have fucking, the first Superman is worth $1 million. Well, great. But who's paying $1 million for the first Superman? I don't know how much the first Superman is worth, but it's worth a lot of money. And I don't know why. It probably doesn't hold a lot of entertainment value. You can't open it up and read it because it's worth too much money. And even if you could, it's going to be like, hey, I'm Superman. It's not going to be good. And then you just look at it and say, oh, I have this thing. And this is the beginning of Superman. Who even cares about Superman, though? Kids? Kids don't care about Superman. Adults? An adult who cares about Superman, all right, you're allowed. I'm not even getting on you about the comic book superhero thing. But if you're going to be a comic book superhero guy, you're not going Batman? I mean, that's the the best one. Batman's the best one. You know that. And you're gonna be, oh no, I'm a Superman guy. Superman's kind of stupid. Batman is cool. Batman's like the only cool one. Batman and Wolverine. Those are the only two cool superheroes. Everybody, and I loved Spider-Man when I was a kid. I read a lot of Spider-Man comic books. And I was dyslexic and I hated to read, but I would read. Well, then it's just you just reading little bubbles. It's kind of easy, and you're looking at, and there's pictures, which really helps. Why all books don't have pictures with the bubbles? It holds your attention better. I know you're making the images in your mind. It's better for the imagination. My mind is so busy with trying to read the words, I could use some help with the imagery. Is and then it moves along. It's nice. I'm aware of all the practical reasons why you're not turning novels into comic books, and I don't think it actually should happen. I'm saying I would read them more, not because I don't read comic books now. I haven't read comic books since I started high school. That is pretty much the end for me. And it was like a natural break. I didn't even say, oh, I'm too old for comic books now. I just didn't care anymore. And then I realized I didn't care anymore. I was like, oh, did I lose that? I feel bad. But it is a lot easier. I know adults who are super into comic books, and it seems like a lot of work and a lot of things to keep up on. I would be reading comic books this entire time. That's got to get very repetitive. I mean, how many stories do they have? Nothing against any adult comic book people. That's like normal now. That's not even like weird to be an adult comic book person. I think it used to be, yeah, like kind of, but now everybody's in this suspended state of adolescence for the rest of their life, which is better. I have no desire to mimic the adulthood of my youth. Oh, let me try to be like what grown-ups used to look like. No, I just want to be comfortable. Okay, I've said way too much and nothing. And there's news to get to here. ICE officer charged in Minneapolis shooting released in Texas after immediate extradition rejected. So Texas is Argentina now? If you're an ICE agent and you commit a crime, Texas will harbor you. Now, how does this work if somebody commits a crime in Texas, like say, I don't know, throws a water balloon full of piss at the governor? No one should do that. But I'm saying if somebody did that, and then after they throw the piss balloon at the governor, direct hit, covered in piss, governor's covered in piss, but before they can arrest the piss balloon bandit, the piss balloon bandit has fled to Minnesota. Now Texas is like, we need the piss balloon bandit. And the governor of Minnesota, who is it, Tim Walz still? Well, whoever it's good. Sorry, the piss balloon bandit's actually the new mayor of St. Paul. Police officer arrested after tracking ex-girlfriend on Flock's camera system over 2,000 times, authorities say. There's so many stories of these cops checking the Flock cameras, spying on whoever, just misusing the Flock cameras. That's primarily what they're used for, is misuse. And out of all those stories, this one is the most pathetic. Imagine working with this guy. Every 2 seconds, he's checking the Flock camera, and he's always muttering under his breath, oh, she's at the yoga studio again. I'm like, what? He's like, nothing. Dude, you got to get off the Flock camera. You're killing yourself. And you're going to get busted for doing the Flock camera because you've done it like at least 1,000 times. I haven't done it that many times. You're constantly checking the Flock camera. She's still at the yoga studio. The yoga class is an hour. You've checked 20 times in the past 15 minutes. I want to know why the breakup happened. I'm guessing she dumped him. If he's checking that often, that she was like, this isn't working out. Hey, he's obviously clingy, controlling person, and she got out of there. You got to feel pretty good about that decision to get out of that relationship after this flock count. I mean, it's unsettling to be flocked. Ratko Miladiak, murderous butcher of Bosnia, dies at 83. Dolly Parton and Tim Curry are still at 2. Okay, this murderous butcher does not get to be 3 in the death comes in threes thing. He's a murderous butcher. He should have died a while ago. He lived way too long. The only good thing about a murderer's butcher living a long life is if the body is failing. Now you've become a helpless elderly person when you were once a murderous butcher. I don't even know if that's what happened. He might have been one of these vivacious 83-year-olds. Well, he's in hell now. Yeah, Yayoi Kusama, Japanese avant-garde artist, dies aged 97. A lot of people die. They're not young. 97, you won. You are an avant. I don't know who this person is. I apologize for my ignorance. I go to the art museum, but I don't read the little plaques next to everything. I just look at it and I enjoy and I move on because I can't remember names anyway. If I like something and it's not Monet or Van Gogh, one of the bigs, I'm not going to remember the name, but obviously huge artist, avant-garde artist, that's really good. Headline death, you're big time. You made it. And 97 years old, that's the sweet spot. 100, it's creeping people out. 97, people are hoping you're going to get to 100. So they're not like, when's this person going to die already? But then you die at 97, people are sad, I'm sure, but they're like, great run. 80s, good run. 90s, now that's a hell of a run. And now I'm going to check out some of her art later. U.S. says Chinese hackers broke into Justice Department, NASA, Federal Reserve, Senate. That's like everything. They broke into everything? Did we have Norton antivirus installed on all the computers? Is that how they got in? Nobody installed the Norton antivirus. Well, if China comes across a folder that says Epstein files, it would be great if you just kind of let that one out into the public. Yeah, they wouldn't do that, though. They would use it. Why would you get something that good and then just give it away? But they just hacked their way into the whole government. And is somebody maybe going to get in trouble for this? Probably not. There'll be some social media post blaming Gavin Newsom. That makes no sense. Catastrophic floods kill over 353 in Nepal and Tibet, with more than 1,300 missing. Oh, wow. A lot of those 1,300 people missing, got to think a lot of them were probably killed in the flood, too. Every fucking day it's a fire or a flood. Stay on high ground, away from trees. One last story and then I got to go. Canada announced retaliatory tariffs on wide range of U.S. goods. Hope you got syrup and maple leaf cookies. I saw this is supposed to drive up the price of toilet paper. So there's another thing that you can be like, oh my God, can you believe how much toilet paper costs now? We're going to all have to get bidets like we're Europeans, which is cleaner. I don't know why we all don't have them, but we don't because we're Americans and we don't use bidets. A lot of people have them now, and they're great and all that. But toilet paper is going to be more expensive. I don't know what else. This was completely avoidable, obviously. I mean, you know that. I don't get into the whole whatever his name is. The guy who started this, you know, that guy. I don't feel like saying his name, but whatever got in his mind that Canada's ripping us off, I don't even know what that means. He doesn't. Nobody knows what that means. And if somebody tries to tell you what that means, get out of that conversation. It's pointless.